Hello and welcome to Fumble Fever. I'm excited to be back with my colleague here to the left of me, exactly where he belongs. Glad to have him back with me as we have a lot of football to talk about this week with the SEC starting play this week. Finally,
football's finally
so
started up.
a lot. Yeah, pretty much everybody's all set. The Big Ten will come in October and do their thing, but.
Mhm.
For now, I just want to go ahead and remind anyone that's looking at any other games out there that Notre Dame and Wake Forest is postponed. They will not be playing. If you were wanting to see them, you won't be able to this week. Coronavirus has got to the Irish. They have 7 players who have tested positive for the virus. They are in isolation, as well as the rest of the people that were with them or close to them.
So pretty much everybody.
Yeah, probably the whole team, I would suppose, will be in isolation at some point. And
I think it's a 10-day.
Is it 10-day now?
Yeah.
So at least 10 days that they'll have to go without football, and they're hoping to get back into the swing of things and be able to play that game later in the season.
Mm-hmm.
As for the games that are actually still on, as of right now, at least still on, we know things can change any moment. We have some very, very good ones. Very excited for these. And we're going to start off with a game that back in the years would have been a prime time rivalry game, something that everyone was looking forward to. It's kind of lost its luster a little bit, but we have Florida State taking on Miami.
Big time. Game day, by the way. Which is very
interesting to me.
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
No.
I don't think. Because there's a couple more games that's on the schedule that I think should have been either UT and Tennessee and South Carolina or
Kentucky and Auburn.
Yeah, Auburn. One of those two.
And we'll of course discuss those here in a moment. But how are you feeling about Florida State and Miami? I mean,
from what I saw, Miami against Louisville,
yeah.
I think Miami's gonna blow Florida State out of the water here. But I'm gonna give Florida State the benefit of the doubt and just have probably 20 points versus maybe like 30 or 40 what you was thinking maybe.
Okay. So
it'd be close until the third quarter. Then Miami's gonna pull away.
I could see that. I mean, the only factor that could possibly have Florida State for me getting even close to a win here would be the rivalry game. Other than that, I mean, it's not even so much the fact of Miami, and I like Miami a lot. I think they've done very well. I think they showed their strength in that Louisville game. But for me, it's just Florida State's just. I have no words for them, really. They're just pathetic. They're just absolutely pathetic.
I mean, Georgia Tech, they're not a terrible team like I thought they were at the very beginning of the season.
When Georgia Tech finally passed the ball like I said that they should and started trying to implement that offense, and it's working well for them.
They were hanging in there with UCF for 3 quarters.
Yeah. And
then, they got it within 21-28.
Yeah.
And
it was very close for a while, and then they went downhill from there. But not even just the Georgia Tech game, just Florida State's offensive line did not improve whatsoever, like at all. Like I thought they were going to, or like I was being told from the experts that was going to happen. I didn't see that at all. I don't really like any of the rest of the play. Plus,
even we were thinking Florida State was gonna.
I thought so.
Georgia Tech.
Oh, absolutely. That was one of probably my most confident picks was that Florida State was going to blow out Georgia Tech, and that didn't happen. I don't like to overreact to 1 week too much, but I mean Florida State not going to have Mike Norvell this week because he has the coronavirus.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if that's really going to hurt him or not.
I don't think it would have helped him either way right now. And I love Mike Norvell, and I still think he's going to turn this program around. And given the opportunity, but Miami's got way too much talent on the other side, and I agree with you. I think Miami's going to blow them out. Some other games we have going down the line, some pretty good games, I would say. We have Florida; they're taking on Ole Miss.
A little bit closer than what people think. I think it's going to go into the fourth quarter because Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
He's going to have them ready, I think, with their offense because really their offense has been good.
Yeah, and I'm excited just as you are for Ole Miss's offense as well. I think Lane Kiffin's going to do great things over there and take Ole Miss to a team that can jump all the way into the middle of the pack of the SEC from where they were at the bottom of the barrel. I think Ole Miss has a good shot of going to a bowl game this year. And as of you, I think this could be a pretty close game. I have some interesting notes on Florida. First, I want to start off with Paul Feinbaum. Obviously, everyone around here in these parts know him very well. He said that Florida looks like a sneaky playoff team. They have a senior-led quarterback in Trask he was backup for many years, came in for Felipe Franks and did a very nice job.
And took over.
And handled it very well.
Which Felipe Franks, he transferred to Arkansas, if nobody knew. Or if you didn't know.
I honestly didn't, so that's actually news to me. So
he's going to be their starting quarterback, so.
At Arkansas, I can certainly see that.
Yeah.
I don't think there was much competition there for him.
No.
Not sure that he's going to do much better with Arkansas, especially with the schedule they'll have ahead of them, of course. But with Florida, I mean, I agree with Feinbaum. I fully expect them to either A, win the East, or B, a very high contender from the East. Of course, it has to come through Georgia. It all kind of depends on that Georgia game, but they got to get a win against Ole Miss first. That would be a good win to start the season for them. It's a very tough challenge to start right away. And just real quick before I move on, another interesting note that I found on Florida, Brian Johnson, which is odd because we had a friend in high school with the exact same name, but he was recently promoted to offensive coordinator. He will be the very first ever African-American offensive coordinator for the University of Florida. So exciting news in Florida. And he actually played for Coach Dan Mullen as a quarterback for Utah back in 2004 when Dan Mullen was an offensive coordinator. So
cool.
Their history goes back a long ways away. So a little quick side story to watch unfold there for the Gators.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought so. As we continue to some more games here, we see games. One of the games that you thought could have possibly been College Game Day is actually a game that I think should have been College Game Day, and that's Kentucky and Auburn.
I'm going to surprise a lot of people here and pick Kentucky.
Okay.
Mainly because I like their senior quarterback, Wilson.
Yeah.
I think he's going to control the game pretty much.
Okay.
Because there's a bunch of unknowns for Auburn. We don't know how good their offense is going to be, how good their defense is going to be.
Exactly.
Because a lot of players moving on to the NFL.
I actually agree with you in a sense. I'm not ready to pull the trigger right away just because it's week 1 with Kentucky, and that's a huge task for them to try and overcome. I think Bo Nix is ready. I think Auburn has been itching to play. I actually have a quote from one of the players for Auburn, KJ Britt, their starting linebacker, said that you could put him in a parking lot with a bunch of bears and he'll play. So he's ready to play football, to say the least. And with that type of mentality on that team, I think that's going to help push them to a win over Kentucky. But I do believe Kentucky could be a dark horse in the SEC and make a lot of people kind of open their eyes.
It's gonna be kind of hard for Auburn to actually get to Wilson, because I feel like their offensive line is one of the best too in the country. If you didn't know that.
No, I agree with you on that.
A bunch of fifth year seniors and seniors on that offensive line.
Exactly. They have a lot of veteran guys on that Kentucky team, and it's a team that people need to watch for this season. And I think this opening game is going to help a lot of people see that, as I think they keep it very close. So, but you picking Kentucky obviously means, does that mean Kentucky is your underdog pick?
Yeah,
it
definitely
does. Okay, so Kentucky is your underdog pick. I'll get to mine as we finish this video. But last week, very good with Marshall, by the way, and we'll try to update y'all on the overall
2-0 and 1-1.
1-1 on the mine was overtime. I almost feel like I should have half a point on that, but they almost pulled it off. I was proud of them, at least. I thought they did a nice job. So as we continue back, we've been heading into SEC. We're going to go back to the ACC for a ranked matchup this week with Pittsburgh and Louisville. Who are you feeling?
I got Louisville. After the loss to Miami, they're not going to lose to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Didn't go 0-2, then go 1-1 in match with Pittsburgh 1-1.
Yeah, and I liked Louisville. I liked what I saw in that Miami game. I was glad to see that Miami and Louisville kind of lived up to the hype. I thought it was exciting. It was back and forth. I saw what I believe to be two of the better quarterbacks in the ACC actually prove to continue to actually be, two of the better quarterbacks that didn't fall apart. They don't look like duds to me. I think Cunningham has done a nice job. I think Pittsburgh's quarterback's nothing to play with, and I think Pittsburgh team is a fairly decent team this year overall. But Pittsburgh has a lot of red zone issues on defense that they need to work through, and actually offense too, really. Just the red zone in general has been bad for Pittsburgh this season so far. Pittsburgh hasn't faced much talent this season so far. They've done well, but this is a true test for the Panthers. And with that test, I think I'm going to pick Louisville. Probably a close game, maybe a touchdown or so score. But I'm gonna have to go with Louisville.
I agree with you. And I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, okay, well, I'm glad I said that too. I know there's one game left on this list, the game that you've been waiting for all season long, as Carolina is finally ready to open, and they face a challenge right off the bat with Tennessee.
I got USC, of course.
Of course, okay.
It's going to be very close.
Yeah.
Going into the fourth quarter. 24-21, that's what I got.
Okay, and how you feeling about Colin Hill getting his start?
I trust Muschamp and what he sees, because we haven't really been able to see much film for him since all this COVID. They're not allowing people in to film and watch practices. So I'm gonna trust Will Muschamp.
Okay.
As hard as it is to trust him, I'm gonna trust him.
If you want some extra eyes to help you out on this one, there is a fairly famous guy, especially in these parts, the voice of the Gamecocks and former quarterback Todd Ellis, who has been watching some of their practices and said that Colin Hill was one of the best quarterbacks that he's seen in a long time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that if Todd Ellis is a guy that you
follow,
that you trust. Then those are very, very
that's
kind
very,
words.
very, very high standards.
That's
because
very
Connor
high,
Shaw.
Well, I think he means since Connor Shaw.
Oh, since Connor Shaw. Okay,
that's what I'm taking away from that. I don't think he believes that he's better, but I think he said a pure passer is what he saw in
like Dylan Thompson, sort of, probably.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
So, like you said, very high praises. It always scares me when you have a ranked team like Tennessee going against an unranked team against South Carolina, but Tennessee only being favored by 3.5.
And fun little fact, last time they were ranked and played us, we beat them. So
see, it's just a lot of reasons.
It was at home too.
It's a lot of reasons to go for South Carolina if you're going with a trendy upset pick.
And I think their defense is going to be better than what people say too. Because we have a couple corners that are, at least I think, should be in the either top 1 or 2 rounds next year.
They have improved overall in many areas. It's going to be I say this a lot of years, I feel like, but it's going to be a brand new team for Carolina on both sides of the ball. And it should be a very fun matchup. Tennessee, though, not someone you need to sleep on. And just about 19 hours ago or so, there was a post on CBS Sports by a guy of the name of Dennis Dodd. He said the following quote. He said that the Vols are one of the 2 candidates to be the league's it team this year in the 2020 season. Kind of a dark horse that could contend to, even with guys like Florida and Georgia, to fight for the East title. If I'll give you one guess, who you think the other team was that he was talking about?
Probably Kentucky.
It was Kentucky. And I think that says a lot of where people believe that both Tennessee and Kentucky could be at the end of this season. I
have more faith in Kentucky versus...
I actually do as well, oddly enough.
If Tennessee didn't lose some practices for COVID earlier...
Yes.
Because they had to stop for 2 weeks, or around there, because of COVID, because so many people had it. But early in the season, I'm going to go with Kentucky, but maybe later on in the season when Tennessee actually get some games up under them in practice, I'd probably go with Tennessee over Kentucky.
Yeah, and that should be a fun, very fun rivalry game later on in the season. I feel like with so many things matching against Tennessee, and this one, I feel almost like an idiot for saying this, but I think I'm going to go with Tennessee for now. I still need South Carolina to prove to me that they can beat teams like this as we go into the 2020 season.
Georgia,
and if they do that...
Georgia last year.
Well, you got Georgia, but then you're all over the place for the rest of the season, so it kind of evens itself out and brings me back to believe that even with that win, that it's, well, you know, that's just how it is. But they beat Tennessee. I can start getting on a bandwagon, so to speak, to start picking them in future games. But for now, I still need to see something.
Do you think Tennessee's overrated right now as far as the ranking?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think 16 to 20 range, that is like right around where they need to be.
Yeah.
Especially considering that there is no Pac-12
I mean,
in this.
even
Not
if
that they
there
were
was,
really contending anyway.
Yeah,
but
about 3 of them in there.
You know, well, that's 3 spots that could have pushed Tennessee down.
Yeah.
Overall, no. Based on everybody else's teams, and just based on the fact that these are projected anyways. I don't play a lot into AP polls like preseason, because it's still preseason for SEC. Other teams we've seen play and we've been able to analyze them. SEC we haven't. So still, with that being said, I think Tennessee fits right where I would have them, because that's right where I expect them to be.
Okay.
So one last thing for me to do, we've already established that you have Kentucky as your underdog pick. I'm going to go with NC State. They're playing number 20 Virginia Tech. Normally, I would say that Virginia Tech would blow out NC State, because I have absolutely no reason to think that NC State could win this game, except for the fact that Virginia Tech is still kind of just hoping that they have enough people to actually play this game. Coronavirus has hit them hard. We still haven't seen them play yet. And I don't just, in the opening game for the Hokies, I think that North Carolina State might just sneak up on them and take this victory. So I'm gonna pull the trigger on NC State on the Wolfpack, and we'll see how it goes. And next week we'll update you on how that record went.
I can see that. I can see that happening.
I hope so, because I need to improve.
I don't think it will, but I can see it happening.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what goes down. We'll see how your upset goes. You did very well last week, so we'll see if that continues or not. Of course, I don't want to stroke your ego too much. But we will continue to be with us and follow up next week as we continue to keep going through these games. Follow us on Twitter, as usual, at Fumble Fever, and YouTube as well. Go ahead and subscribe.
And leave a like if you want to. Hit the bell notification. And talk about whatever you want in the comments.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.